So at this point, sim racing has pretty much taken over my entire life. And although I very much enjoy it and I'm creating a lot of content around it, I've never really delved into the esports or competitive side of it, aside from my regular iRaces. That was until a event popped up along my timeline on Instagram the other day for the NoFilterDXB event, which is the first proper esports tournament for the Middle East. Now, living over here, sim racing isn't as mature as it is in other parts of the world, so leagues and competitions aren't as frequent as they are, or they basically never happen. So when I saw this, I thought it was a perfect time for me to jump in, try and compete, and then maybe make some content out of it. So the way the competition was structured is that you would have to do a time trial, which would qualify you for the online multiplayer rounds, and then from the online multiplayer rounds, you would compete in the live event at the NoFilterDXB event at the end of November. So I qualified for round 1 by setting a quick enough time around the Nürburgring, and that's what led me to, on the 3rd of November, to take part in round 1, which was GT3 cars again around the Autodrome National Circuit. So I thought it'd be fun to take you through my first proper esports event and see how it went. So let's have a look. So as you can see, I qualified in P12. We did a practice, a qualifying, then a little warm-up, and then it was the race, which was a 20-minute race. P12 was about the best I could do. I knew I could probably go a little bit faster, but there were some absolute aliens in this lobby. So let's go towards the race. We've got 4 red lights, we've got 5 red lights, and we are away for the first round of the NoFilterDXB esports tournament. I got an absolutely awful start. I got bogged down in first gear, couldn't get any traction off the line. My traction control was set a bit too high anyway. Oh, it was disastrous. So tried to find some space into the first corner, wanted to avoid the carnage, went round the outside, seemed to make up a place or two, round the curb on the inside, and then boom. Yeah, not exactly the result I wanted off the first corner on my first proper competitive event. Look, we'll have a look at the replays. Let's have a look at the start again. Something about this event, and this is nothing against the guys that set up the event, because I thought the event was organised very well, but the server was an absolute mess. It was really hard to race close together because people were lagging and sliding and in different places. There was a lot of contact where probably there shouldn't have been contact, which was really upsetting. And I think just what happened was the Merc gets a great start, dives up the inside of me. I managed to get better traction around the outside. This camera is not very good for it. I'm on the inside, and I think he just comes across because genuinely I don't think he saw me at all. He actually commented on one of my... the guy commented on my Instagram post and said that he thinks it was lag. He thought that he'd given me space, so... it was probably an accident, let's be honest. Not bad at all. So we had to drive a recovery race somehow. So pretty easily we passed the Corvette as it's facing the wrong way. And we've got an Audi and a Beamer right in front of us, so we're up behind the Audi, and I really, was frustrated by spinning. I hadn't seen the replays at the time, so I thought someone had just completely taken me out on lap 1, which I was really annoyed about. So I had the bit between my teeth, and I was really trying to knuckle down and get up as many places as possible, because although in sim racing my qualifying pace is pretty abysmal, my race pace and my racecraft is a little bit better. And I can usually make up a few places in a race. So we fly past the Audi on the straight up towards this incredibly tricky chicane section that goes uphill. The last sector of this track is so difficult. Not the best for overtaking. It's a very tight uphill chicane, but I would have rather do the Dubai Autodrome International Circuit, but this is what we were given. Anyway, on to a couple of laps later, we are chasing down the BMW. This guy was quick. I reckon I was quicker in the corners, but that Beamer is a weapon in a straight line. And I'm also driving a massive boat in the Bentley, so it's quite hard to go up a very tight chicane in the Bentley. But those were probably the 2 quickest cars for the race, the Bentley and the Beamer, so you had to pick one of them, otherwise you would just be stuck at the back. So I look up the move on the inside on the last corner, decide against it because, you know, I just get overtaken again, and I think maybe we'll just tuck inside next to the Beamer. We're right up next to him, and we're just about, I think we just about got a good enough exit to get enough speed down the straight to get away from him, because like I said, that BMW was absolutely rapid in a straight line, and then, of course, dived up the inside. I knew it was coming, just avoided it. We touch a little bit, and again, that's another thing. Like, we look like, on my screen, it looks like we have an actual crash. If you watch the replay in the top right-hand corner, it's a slight door-to-door bash. It's absolutely nothing. So, again, a little bit frustrating, but first event, so, you know, I enjoyed the event, so it doesn't really matter. But that's something maybe they can work on for the coming events. But you can see the BMW wiggling around all in front of me. Very hard to overtake people when they're pinging about, and I wasn't the only driver that seemed to mention this, but still got to get past him no matter what. I made the massive mistake of just following him through that corner when he went way too deep. We have a little bit of a collision on my screen, again, not an actual collision. Try to go up the inside of him here. I'm just looking for a different line, go wide here just to give myself a better run into the last couple of corners, take that really, really, really shallow. And then just trying to set yourself up for a good pass on the straight. Again, tagged him on the back there, on the replay camera, not a single touch. Anyway, he gets a pretty poor exit out the last corner, so I'm thinking, yep, I've got it here. We tuck in behind him, use the draft, pull up beside him, and then you realise that the BMW is so quick that as soon as I stepped out of the draft, I had no speed. So I just decided to dive it up the inside. To be fair to him, gave me plenty of room. We had a little bit of a touch on the inside, that's fine, but he gave me the room up the inside when I made the move, so that was good racing. And on the whole, actually, I would say about this event, the racing was really, really good. You're going to see some good passes and some good overtakes coming up soon-ish. But on the whole, I thought the racing was really good. Everyone was really respectful. No one intentionally causing incidents. People gave room, so... just had the Mercedes up next, who actually went off the track here, so we inherited a position. So I'm back up to 12th, which I was quite happy with. After that disastrous start, I'm about 7 seconds off the person in 11th, so I thought, do you know what, if I can just hold this in 12th, after this race start I had, I'd be pretty happy with it. Until I looked in my rearview mirror, and I saw this big American Corvette chasing me down. Now... this Corvette had an accident earlier in the race. He actually qualified ahead of me and was absolutely rapid driver, as you can see, as he goes straight past me there. So, for the last about 7 minutes of this race, I was just trying to get past him as much as possible. I really, really wanted that 12th position. But, yeah, the guy in the Corvette, a guy called Mustafa, he has his own YouTube channel, which I'll put in the description down below, and he's actually done a video about this, because this is probably one of the most fun battles I've had in a racing sim in quite a long time. It was about a 7-minute battle of me and him going for just 12th position, but really, really, really fun, really respectful driving. I think we struggled with lag and a few other bits, which meant that we touched, but yeah, that's a bit frustrating. So I knew he was quick. I knew there were 1 or 2 corners on the track that I could get him on, but cut to a lap or 2 later, he's completely pulled away from me. I knew if I could just maybe keep behind him, keep within like half a second, couple of tenths, maybe I could push him into a mistake. But the guy was fantastic, really, really consistent racer. Barely made any mistakes, which meant I kind of had to sort of just knuckle down and try and find an opportunity to pass. I was definitely quicker through this corner. I took slightly a tighter line than he did, and I definitely gained a lot of time on him. And then into this, just before the chicane, I seemed to be a little bit better on the brakes, and those were the 2 points that was like, I can gain time here, and then maybe go for a pass. So we've jumped, I forgot to say, we jumped ahead a couple of laps. We've got about 3 minutes left in the race, so that's barely a couple of laps, maybe 1 or 2 laps, maybe 3 laps left, maybe 3 laps left. So I'm really, really desperate to get ahead here. So give him a little tap on the exit of the final corner just to let him know that I'm there. Tuck into the draft. He tries very hard to break the draft. I tried following it, and it just wasn't doing anything for me, so decided not to. Looked for the dive up the inside, was maybe a few car lengths too far back to think about going for a dive. I think it would just be unfair. And then he goes off the track and then pings back on the track. Again, server issues. So I've also brought in the chase cam so you can see, you know, the last 2 or 3 minutes of this battle, because this was just, you know, this was really, really, really fun racing. Like, I really enjoyed this. So, go around to this next long left-hander. I knew I could just take this corner a little bit tighter because he liked to go a little bit wider. Just not got enough traction and not enough power to get past him there. We're really, really, really close, and there's only a couple of laps left. Down into the chicane. Again, I'm right up behind him through the chicane. I really started to nail that chicane by the end of the race. Take a little bit of a wider line here to see if I can cut across, get the power down a little bit early again. Just maybe taking slightly wider lines to open up the corner and get the power down. Had a little look up the inside again, decided against it. A little bit of a tap. I actually don't think I did tap him, but oh well. We've got the draft again on the straight. And thinking, I can't remember if this was I think this is the penultimate lap. And I was really, really desperate to, and I saw him go a little bit wide, so I thought, why not? I'll dive it up the inside. Probably not the best move in the world, which is why I gave him loads of space on the exit there, but just about managed to get the move done. We scrape doors as we're going through these fast right-handers, and I've just about managed to grab myself that position back. As he goes up the inside, I managed just to hold enough speed, but yeah, he had the inside line here. I tried to put the power down as early as possible. We are going side by side, door to door. This was such good, respectful race, and he goes round the outside of me. I tuck in on the inside. I've got better traction, better minimum speed, and I managed just to stay in front of him. Really, really, really good section of corners. He's looking around the outside of me. I get on the brakes a little bit earlier just to turn the car in. Just about managed to hold the position. Like I said, this guy was faster than me. He was a faster and better driver than me. So I was really at 110% trying to hold on to my position here. But he gave me an absolute time of it. So I think coming up here, this is the last lap. I cover off the inside because I don't want him to go up the inside. I know if I can get a good exit, I'll be alright. And then I completely miss the corner and track extend. So it's going to be a real run up to the first corner here. I did try to squeeze him, but we seemed to knock into each other. So again, sorry. I really didn't mean to bump into them. It was just a bit of net coding issue. He flies up the inside way, way better on the brakes than I am there. Brilliant effort to go up the inside there. And I knew now I just had one lap to try and regain this position. So keep as close to him as possible. Maybe get him on the last corner. Maybe get him into the long left-hander that I'm quite good at. Really, really close on the brakes. Just looking for the inside. He did such a good job of just closing off every avenue that I had. I was really just looking up the inside, trying to get any little nose in that I could just squeeze myself. Every time I'd be going up the inside, he perfectly covered it off here. We are sort of nose and tail. I got a good exit coming out of this corner. All we have left is the chicanes. The chicanes and then 2 right-handers, and then it's over. I brake a little bit earlier, take a slightly wider line, just about make the track limits. And as I'm going past him, he spins off. Now, it's frustrating because I'd done that a few times where we'd just gone nose to tail and tapped a few times and literally nothing had happened. But I don't know, a netcode... Look, the netcode wasn't great on RaceRoom today, and it ruined what was a really, really, really good race. Again, we barely touched, and it sent him spinning, and I felt so bad about it because that was an absolutely fantastic race. And although I came home in P12, I'm pretty happy with that result. I had an absolute ball with it. So that's my first esports sim racing competition in the bag. What did I think? I think the guys did a really, really good event of putting on a great race for something that we've not seen really before in the Middle East. Hats off to them, and I'm sure the NoFilterDXB event is going to be fantastic. I'm not actually going to be here for it, going on holiday. So I'm sure the event's going to be great. I had a great time. I think the racing was fantastic. Congrats to all the guys that won. There were some absolutely rapid drivers in there. And there was no way I was going to win the race, but it was really fun to participate and to be involved, and had some great little battles apart from that first corner, which we're not going to talk about anymore. I've had nightmares about it. But overall, I think a great race. Let down only slightly by the netcode of the server. It just stopped us from having really good racing, but hopefully that can be sorted out for the next couple of rounds. I will try and qualify for the next round. We'll see if I manage to have the time. But overall, great event. I'll also leave Mustafa Auto's channel in the description. He's got the other perspective of our battle, and his videos produced a little bit nicer than mine. So if you want to see the other side of our battle, go check out that video. It's a good watch. It's interesting to see the other side of the battle. So that'll do it. Hope you've had a good time watching me compete in my first race and do quite badly. If you like the video, why not subscribe? We hit 100 subscribers. Next is 1 million. That's how it works on YouTube. If not, just leave me a like or a share or something like that. Go follow me on Instagram, Twitch, if I'm hopefully going to start streaming again on Twitch. We'll see. Instagram, all that. Everything's down below. Go check it out. Why not? I don't know. I don't mind if you don't. Whatever. Anyway, until then, I will see you on the next video. So, goodbye.